Hello.
Hola. I'm Kristi.
And I'm Clari.
And this is
Dear Primas. So,
if you're watching, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I feel like every time I post a video, we get one more follower.
Yeah.
More followers. It's really cool to see.
I love it.
we're excited to be filming.
Made it happen this week.
Yeah, it was a struggle with sick kiddos and then still another sick kiddo, but he's pushing through.
He's pushing through.
So,
Might be faking it.
I know, right? Evil genius. Well, I have news. My show Schlump has ended. Yeah.
What is the show?
It is Under the Bridge on Hulu. And it did come from a book, actually. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably even based on a true story. And then a book written on it, and now a show. So good. It's but I hate it because I caught it at the beginning. And it's releasing.
I hate
yeah.
Okay, so we did have some recommendations, and I feel like I should have made some requirements on the recommendations because that is one of my requirements. Like, it has to be bingeable. Oh no.
Pause.
Yeah. Okay. And we're back. I was saying on the recommendations that we had for the show Schlump, I feel like I should have put some requirements. As much as they were appreciated, I need some that are bingeable, like at least have one full season. Because I can't do the waiting.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. I have to have it like at least a season, 3 or more, even better.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this one's a new season.
Although I did get into one that they did recommend.
Which was?
The Cleaning Lady.
Okay, so I tried to look it up, but where did you... On Hulu, it only has season 3.
I was on HBO Max, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need to look for it then. Because on Hulu, they just had the season 3, and I was like, wait a minute.
See, that's it, because it had multiple.
Yeah.
I wasn't even...
So you'll catch the show on the next season?
The next season, exactly.
It is so good, though. Now, we're going to get into our silent karaoke.
It's not my favorite part of it, though.
Oh, so it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you... Okay. I was trying to listen to the radio on the way here to get inspired. But... Okay. I think I got it. Okay.
You can call me.
Yeah. Sometime I can be your sunshine. Yeah, Sunshine. The original one by Lil Flip, not the new Sunshine one. Yeah.
What's the new one?
I don't know. It's the same. It's exact same song with different artists. I don't even know who sings it, honestly. I change it every time it comes on. Makes me so upset. Yeah, Sunshine.
I like it.
Did you let me go for a while? You just couldn't.
That part, I got it, but I didn't know the words. So
yeah.
I was gonna
Okay. We're vibing together. Thank y'all for tuning in this week.
We got a good one, I think, today.
We do.
And it's going to be all about moms.
All moms.
Even if you are not a mom, if you are becoming a mom maybe in the near future, for moms, for baby mamas.
For who mamas?
For
I was like, for baby mom.
Like pause whenever I said that.
For babies, mamas.
Yes.
Baby mamas is for you too.
Bonus moms, all the moms.
Yeah, all the moms.
Kind of a whole episode of moms because Mother's Day is coming up.
It's coming up, and this is again a day where it's a day of celebration, and it's also a day of remembrance, I think, for some. Those who may not have their mamas around, but are now mamas and going through it. I think that's something that is
easily taken for granted, maybe.
Yes.
If we have not experienced that, but also to just maybe going the extra mile and reaching out to your mom tribe. Like, hey, what do you need?
Yeah.
If you need anything,
yeah.
I'm here.
I'm here. You're killing it. Yes, thinking about you. A little extra that day for sure. But yeah, this is just, it's a day, and I do want to kind of, before we get into it, I guess, there was this TikTok video she said, look, every other day is about me. Yeah. I am right now the mom in the trenches, but we don't know how much longer our grandmas, our moms are going to be around, or the grandmas. So she's like, if you can, that one day can be towards, grandmas or your moms or their moms. And then I can be celebrated any other day. And I think that's true.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of, I think, our mindset, not thinking like that, but we do still spend it with, his family. This is my first Mother's Day with Antonio actually being here, but like we've always gone to my family's on the Saturday before and then his on Sunday. Yeah. And I think that's something that will most likely continue. But I thought that side of it, like, just to give another perspective, is, I mean, that is true. And it's also us spending it with our moms, like, if possible.
Right.
And I think that's a good sign, a way to look at it.
Well, I want to kind of talk about, like, relatable mom things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are some things that come to mind that are relatable?
All right, so one thing that before being a mom that I always heard from other moms is mom guilt. And at first I was like, is that a real thing? Like, it can't be. But now I'm in it, almost 10 months into it, and it is a real thing. Whether it's like subtle mom guilt, because I don't think I have I don't have the mom guilt of going to dinner with friends, or I haven't, he hasn't spent the night anywhere.
Yeah.
Like 10 months I've spent every night with this child.
Yeah.
I think I could do it. It just hasn't
needed to happen.
Yeah. Like Adrian's gone, he's done it, but I haven't had that opportunity or the need for it. And so I don't think on that side, but this last weekend, my friend Dee, she invited me to go to a workout class with her downtown. And it was the same time that Antonio had his swim lessons. And I was like, well, it's going to be his third one. I was like, so it's not like his first one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it was still I said yes. But internally, I was just like, oh man, I felt like a bad mom. Like, I'm missing this. And it wasn't that Adrian can't handle it, because he's taken him, to the gym before. But it was just that second thought of, am I being a bad mom for this?
Yeah. Second guessing.
Yeah. And I don't know. And Adrian did kind of say but his swim lesson. And then I was like, Adrian. And he was like, no, you're right. You're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But it is. I was like, I've thought about it. I didn't vocalize it to you that I was literally going through my head this whole time. But, and so I will say on that end of it, it is so easy, I think, to get caught up on that.
For sure.
And how do we just tell ourselves that we're bad moms from one little, thing?
Yeah.
Where we're in there every single day.
They're going to have 20 more years of swim lessons, maybe, but it's so hard, getting out of your own head.
Mm-hmm.
So hard. And the mom guilt is absolutely, there's just so many extremes to it, where it can be the smallest thing, and it's questioning everything about what you thought the type of mom you were going to be, and what you are doing, and one blow up that can happen in the morning, getting them out the door, and it's I shouldn't have said the things that I said. Now he's going to go to school thinking about that, and then whenever he gets off the bus, it's you didn't even think about it at all.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just all the things that you get in your own head about, and it's very easy as moms, I think, to beat ourselves up. Maybe that's not the right word, but
no, I think it is, because it's like you said, even the smallest things that we just replay in our minds over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Did I do enough today? did I pay enough attention to them? And especially, you know, with 3, I know that, you know, now you're having to split your time. And so that becomes something I'm sure that you're always thinking about. I know, well, I mean, this is your story to tell, but, you know, whenever you were first had Bella and Jaden, I think it was his first time going to be playing T-ball. And I mean, you were not even a week, barely a week, and you were out there after a C-section. Like,
yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
People like even in the stands were looking at me like, should you be here?
Yeah, which you probably shouldn't have.
Right, but I felt good. Like I would have told John otherwise, and I think I'm mentally prepared because we already knew they were both boys were signed up for fall ball, and this happened to be around the time that Bella was born. So I think I'm mentally prepared. Like it will be chaos, but I was already accepting of the chaos. I think even with just having 2 kids, we already thrive in chaos. That I think that was just a little bit more chaotic, and it was kind of like, look, sis, you're with us. You're chugging along, and we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
as we go.
Yeah,
I think so. That's what you do, though, as moms, is you figure it out as you go. Like, who really knows what they're doing?
Nobody.
Who really knows what they're doing?
Well, I can't say anything. I just started.
But like,
no, honestly,
nobody knows what they're doing.
TikTok knows. TikTok knows everything.
They do. There's no formula. There's no right way of doing things. There's no wrong way of doing things. There's just your way of doing it. And if it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, you lived and you learned, and then you...
Exactly. Like, you don't know until you're going to be in there trying it. Like, what may work for one kid
absolutely
doesn't work for another. You know, I hear that all the time.
Yes.
Kind of see it on the outside. You know, each kid has their own personality.
Yeah.
And so you got to, like, relearn things and figure stuff out. Like,
yeah. And I will say, to that end, I feel like the amount of resources that are out there, TikTok University, but also, like, there was that one thing, which I don't know if you ever did with Antonio, because maybe he was a good sleeper the whole time, but none of my kids except for Jaden slept very well. But taking care of babies.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I didn't. Yeah.
I didn't do it either. Bella's finally sleeping through the night. But, like, John never bought into it.
Mm-hmm.
I could never get John to buy into it. He was just like, why? Why is I'm going to listen to somebody tell me how it... But it's like the amount of resources that we have that are available that we can try, and it's like, well, it worked for them, it'll work for me. It should work for me.
Yeah.
And it's not always like that.
No, it's not. Every baby is different. And so there's that. There was a book that my sister-in-law gave me, Baby Wise, and she was like, my friend swore by this, and her baby slept, you know, so great. And so I I took that, things I heard from TikTok. I tried to follow, like, a routine.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you've been awake for, when he was, like, itty bitty, for, you know, the wake windows for X amount of time. Let's see if you'll take a nap. Yeah. But I wasn't stressing myself out if he wasn't taking a nap. And they're so, especially when they're so tiny, like, but as they get older, if you do have just baby that doesn't like sleep, I mean, it's okay to look into those things. And I feel like that's a whole thing of sleep training versus, you know, crying it out versus now you're going to mess them up for life. It's so insane, the things that people say. But at the end of the day, you do what's right for your family or for you, because you're the one losing sleep, not all these people telling you things.
Oh, gosh.
And
sleep deprived. I will say on that Baby Wise book, I did read it, and a lot of that vocabulary, I think as a new mom, was good to know going into it, because, like, you don't know what a wake window is whenever you are a first-time mom.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
I guess our first guest star here. But yeah, no. And thanks to TikTok, I did know those things before reading the book. So a lot of it was honestly like, oh, this is what people have been saying. But there's so many conflicting things on TikTok and everywhere, resources. Everyone has their own method. Try it all, try none of it. Kind of comes also with mom guilt. Am I doing enough? Am I doing the right thing? Am I keeping them on a routine?
Yes.
You know, like, am I a bad mom for
not giving them an Easter basket or
Whoa. That one. No, those Easter baskets were insanity.
You know what though? Growing up, our moms always gave us Easter baskets, and I feel like
you don't. Did you not give your kids Easter baskets?
Well, here's the thing. I think we're at a point where we have too much
stuff
in our that they don't like the things that I think about that could go in the Easter basket. I did like the idea of like giving them swim trunks, but this year, no, I did not give them Easter basket. Don't come for me, Mom.
No, yeah, and for Antonio, I didn't like. I had an idea to get things that he already had and make like a little Easter basket because we had kind of acquired like those little crinkle books, but like the Peter Rabbit one, we found it at the thrift store before he was born. Like, oh, this is cute, we'll save it, the book. So we had stuff, like you say, like that I was going to make one, but I didn't. But my brother and Jenny made him one, and then Lisette made him one. But it was like, and she asked, she was like, well, he's so little, like, what does he need? So I was like, he needs spoons, baby spoons, because we don't have
different
good ones.
Things that they need,
the little
things that they want.
Go squeeze packets.
Yes.
Little teething, stuff that he's going to use.
Absolutely.
Because he was not even, he was like 7 months or something like that, 8 months. And so, the elaborateness does not need to occur, but
to each its own.
Yeah. Yeah. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah.
But don't feel bad if you're not doing it.
Right.
Right. So I agree. And kind of like on that, we don't, I mean, he's little. I know it'll be different once he's older, but we don't buy him things just to buy him things like now. So that when these holidays do come up and people buy him stuff, we're like, oh, okay, cool. We need that. Or like, for instance, Christmas, I gave a little list and these are things that would be nice to last him until he needs stuff for his birthday. Yes. And then, so when we are getting the toys or this or that, I mean, it's good because now he has new things. And when my mom gets random little toys, I'm like, great, that can stay at your house because this way I don't have to bring stuff for him. She's like, oh, that's a great idea. But really, it's just like we have things.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, mom guilt.
Yes.
That for sure has been something that I find it is a real thing.
But at the end of the day, just like don't beat yourself up. But also that ties into like the mental load already that comes with being a mom and how much of that plays into everything.
Yes. No, yeah, the mental load is real. I notice before we have anything to do, I get like this feeling of just like getting worked up, and that's just with one. But, just because my mind is constantly racing on what do we need? Do we have the bottles? Are they clean? How many? Do we have formula? The diapers?
Never ending.
Clothes. Mm-hmm. And it was so funny. So back to the swim lesson story that night before when we were out somewhere and Adrian was like, okay, so if we have to leave at this time, like him and Antonio, he has a bottle, okay, when he wakes up, and then he's going to need a bottle, like maybe on the way, and then he's going to need one, because then he stays at daycare while we work out after swim lessons, and then, so he's like doing all that, and I'm like helping him through it, and then the next day, I'm real bad, sometimes like, I don't know, I should have said nothing, but then I'm like, no, I'm going to say it, so the next night after everything, successful swim day, all the things were great, I was like, hey, remember the other night when you were like running through your head about all the things that were necessary? Think about that happening 24/7.
Yep.
He's like, no, that's a lot. That's a lot. I was like, that's why I tell you, and this is a conversation that we've had multiple times, but it's finally stuck. Oh my God, these last 2 weeks, and it's only been about 2 weeks, the amount of like step upness that has happened, like because those conversations just continually to be had.
Yes.
It has been like day and night.
Yeah.
Because he would do all the things that needed to be done with me telling him, but now he was just more aware of
it, and it is the awareness.
Yeah.
It is the awareness because they really are not aware.
No.
And it's so hard. I think, and that's where the mental load kind of comes, and it finally comes out where it's like, as a mom, any mom, all the moms, we are capable. We're capable of so freaking much. Mm-hmm. So capable. But it's to a point where it's like, look, you know what? I'm not even going to ask you because I know I can do it. Like,
faster.
And I know I can do it more efficiently. And I know I can do it. But I'm not even going to ask you. But it gets to a point where it's like all of the capableness has reached its brink.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, can you let it out and just be like, hey, look, I know I'm capable of doing all of this, but I really need you to step it up tonight.
Yeah.
Because my capability has reached its breaking point.
Yeah.
But that's hard to say.
It is. And it's hard to say it nicely in the moment.
Nicely.
And that's why these conversations, like a big one is, look, please get him ready and yourself ready while because we take longer, you know, and then and that's our thing right now with the 3 kids. That's a different situation too, you know. Y'all all have to help, but I was like, look, by the time I get ready and done, you and him can be finished, right? Not you still getting dressed when I'm done and then I get him dressed, you know. That was a conversation that I think finally clicked. And so I'm like, just little things like, you know, he has to get ready, but I don't want to tell you get him ready every single time. Right. The comparison that I used was because we both work from home, and so I'm like, what if you had to ask me to make you your breakfast every day? Because I cook brunch, lunch every single morning for all of us, right? Not just him, but I'm like, what if you had to tell me that every single day? Yeah. Hey, can you make me breakfast? Hey, can you make me breakfast? Hey, you know? That's a good one. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, it's just like the little things that you know are going to be done, routinely done, that need to be done. But imagine, like, that's annoying. Yeah. And he was like, no, that makes sense. And I was like, yeah. And so that's something that I think it's finally clicked. And, you know, and it just takes one more thing off of my mind. Right. And of course there's still the, did you do this? Did you do that? You know, but, and that all ties in from, you know, asking for that help again, comes in mom guilt. Am I a bad mom because I want that help or because I'm saying I need help? Like, and no.
But I also think like your partner has to be receptive of that. And also like not coming across from the beginning. Like, so let's say husband has not been as helpful from the get-go. How do you now incorporate that going forward? So let's say, you know, we haven't had those conversations. I've just been the person that has been doing all of the things. How do I then bring him in and him feel comfortable enough to be like, oh, I can handle diaper change. Oh, I can handle like nighttime. I can handle morning. Because I mean, those things don't come naturally to men, I feel like, as they do us, because, you know, that's that motherly nature of us. But I think as the dad and now taking on that role, how do you do that if you've been pushed away for so long, type of thing? Bringing in your partner and actually saying like, hey, look, I know I took on the load from the beginning because I thought I knew a certain way of doing. Like, I feel like this was my mindset with John. Like, I know what he needs, I know what he wants, but I needed to like let go and let John kind of, hey,
figure it out
for sure.
They're not going to harm the baby. No, you know.
No,
and I think
they're pretty durable.
Yeah, so for sure, if you are about to be a mom, don't make that mistake. You know, it is a mistake. Is trying to do everything and not allowing your partner to help because they're doing it the wrong way. Yeah. Your way, their way, as long as it's getting done and the baby's okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But if you have taken on everything and now you're like drowning, because it does feel like that sometimes, like I just need help. And realizing like, I think what that conversation is, look, I'm sorry I didn't let you help, or I treated you as you were incompetent. Right. Like, you don't have to say that, but I treated you like you couldn't help, but I need the help, and let's figure this out together. Yeah. Let's work together to, you know, so you can learn the routine or you can learn what needs to be done. It can be a we thing until then he's ready to do things on his own. Yeah. Because if it's gone that long that he hasn't been too involved because you hadn't let him be involved, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. Right. But it definitely can happen. But I think first taking accountability and saying, I handicapped you. Yeah. And then, you know, them working together, and then he can spread his wings and fly. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's kind of how it would have to happen.
Absolutely. No, I 1000% agree. I don't know how long, I mean, granted, there are single moms out there that kill it.
Yeah, like
But-
extra props.
Yes, that, and then also moms that have significant others that do travel for work and do the whole daily, nightly routine, everything on their own. But I always think to myself, like, whenever that does happen to me, I'm like, how do they do it? Because we both signed up for this. We both are in the thick of it. We are on the same team. Like, I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah.
As much as I think I can, there is no way I want to do this day in and day out, day in and day out. I didn't, that's,
Yeah.
you put this baby on me.
Yeah, it took two to tango. Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, those that have, look, us being in the situation that we had to, we could.
Right.
Would we be exhausted to ends?
Right.
Yeah. And so those of you that are in those situations, I mean, 1,000 props to y'all, because like we're saying, it's hard. And it only gets harder the more kiddos you add in the mix until they're self-sufficient, right? But I mean, if your partner's there, they should be helping, period. And I knew that going in. So he knew everything. He knew where the bottles were. He knew where the diapers were, change of clothes. He knew how to do everything up front. So he could, right? Yeah. It's just that like instinct of doing it without me telling you to do it, because I mean, as far as taking care of the baby by himself without me being there, he was doing it since he was like 2 weeks old. I had to do a few things, I'd get out of the house, and he was fine with that. Even his mom was like, oh my gosh, like he knew how to do everything. I'm like, yeah, he did. He did. And so that part is that part, he already knew how to do everything. So it was more of the conversation. It's just like, look, I just need more.
Exactly.
I just need more. Because he was already and that's a whole nother thing, but he was already doing household stuff. But at the time, it's like, I need baby stuff too.
Yes.
It's just a break, a breather, so I can have a little so I can get ready by myself without having to give him the next makeup thing to keep him entertained, Yeah. And so I guess getting into me time, that's been hard for me to make a priority as me time. But I know that you've said, like, with Bella, this third baby, you're like, no, I need it. How did you get there?
So I feel like for John, it was, probably the same mindset with John and Jaden. Both was just like, everybody comes before me. And I think beating myself up to a point. Yes.
Careful, the cup. Oh, no, it's good.
How do you feel? I'm almost going to throw up. You feel like you're almost going to throw up?
Oh, maybe you need to lay down.
Yeah, why don't you go lay down on the couch? No.
Okay, so.
I just want me time. I don't know how it got to the point where I could do that with Bella, but I think it was just more like we had been planting the seeds, John planting the seeds with Jaden, as far as like being able to physically be home with Bella now. Okay, so I'm going to try to voice it how I had it in my head. And I feel like I want to start journaling the link. I think with motherhood comes seasons of ambition and seasons of being an actual mother. And I think I thought that I was going to enter the season of ambition because I knew that Bella was going to be our last baby. So I'm like, yes, we got all the babies. Check. Girl, check. Now it's grind time. And I think it hit me all at once that Bella is the last one. This is all of her firsts are going to be lasts. That maybe us signing us up for daycare at 3 months wasn't the best scenario for me. So scaling it back and being like, my ambition, yes, I want to continue growing this business, but I also want to grow as a mother and be more present with her, because I did not get to fully be there for the boys. Not that I didn't get to, but like, I guess that's also the mom guilt comes into play. But I told myself, and I had that conversation with John, like, can we do this? Is this possible? Because if not, it's going to be a daily struggle of like, I need to get to work. I need to do this. I need to do this for our family. And he's like, no, you can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it. And I'm still weekly always asking him, like, okay, do we need to like put her on the wait list for the daycare? Do we need to do this? No, we're okay. I don't know. So I don't know if that kind of got to that.
It kind of got around, but I think that's important to talk about because that's how you are able, I think, now to be like, okay, me first. I'm putting my kids first majority of the time, especially by making this decision. And so when I need my me time, it's all good.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I think, like, just from the outside perspective, I think that's kind of how you are doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier to say. And so what is your me time? How do you do your me time?
That's me working out. Yeah. My me time is me working out. Is that the extent of my me time?
Your nail? I mean, you don't take Bella to
No, I don't. But that's also like comes into on Sundays. That's our time that we can play outside with the boys. Do I want to not be outside and go get my nails done? But it's just like finding the time. I literally just need an hour or two. But I do the physical endorphins, like the endorphins that working out does for me, makes me a better person and a better mom, I think. So, and the daycare that has, or I'm sorry, the gym that has daycare has been a game changer. A game changer. And I think that played into Jaden because there wasn't a lot of gyms around us that had daycares. I really think that's a big thing.
Sure, our mics are still. The mic was off. No fucking way.
No. Is it not on? Oh my gosh.
It wasn't on the whole time.
Well, honestly, I feel like I was talking a lot in that one. Anyways, what do you think? We'll hear.
Yeah. And I thought it, but I swore I turned it back on after. We'll see. At least we had one episode where my mic didn't go out. Lord.
I really think that's a big deal.
Yeah, if you can swing it, like a 10 out of 10 recommend. Because that is how I get my me time too. I mean, even if it's just to take, like, I will take that 45-minute class and that other, because they're in there for 2 hours, that other hour and 15 minutes, I'm going to take a nice shower, and sit in the sauna, I'm going to get ready. You do all that in peace.
Yes.
Worrying they might poop themselves and you gotta go and get them, but that is a nice little me time for sure. Yeah. I think that's how I've been using my me time as well, and then and now on the weekends having Adrian be the more dominant parent, like, okay, you're gonna wake up when he wakes up, you're gonna get up and get the bottle, get the day started with him, let me be a little lazy, just taking the back seat, I think helps me a whole lot. Yeah. And that's where we've finally gotten more consistent at. Yeah. And so that's been nice. And so that goes back to having those conversations. Absolutely. Because even if, like, you don't have to be, like you said, you want to be present, right, while they're outside. I love seeing him interact with Adrian. Like, I love seeing that. I love, if he's taking care of him, like, what's he doing? You know, I love him. I want to be with him. But I just don't want to have to do all the tasks. Yeah,
associated with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think that's, even just that takes just so much, makes you feel lighter.
It does. That's a good way of saying that.
Okay, so we've touched on being in the trenches, moms currently, but now let's give a little love to soon-to-be first-time moms.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you're part of the tribe of a mom-to-be.
Mm-hmm.
I think this can be
helpful
for sure.
So, first, I guess we could start with the tribe real quick. Just touch on that. Do your check-ins, with your friends or cousins or sisters or whoever is currently expecting around you. Make sure you're doing just a little check-in. Hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Is there anything you need help with?
Yeah, it's not hard. Yeah. to just send a text, a quick text.
Yeah. And
I'm here.
I'm here if you need me. Yeah. If you are going over to meet the baby, bring some food.
Mm.
You know, and it doesn't have to be, you know, something that maybe it could be a home cooked meal. I mean, honestly, there was a time where we were kind of over the eating out because we were big home cooked meal people, and so I was like, anything you got leftovers, bring them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's food is always helpful, regardless of what season of motherhood you're in. If you're fresh, I mean, it's just food's always helpful.
Yeah.
Or like if they're one of those that no, don't come, send it like the
gift
Uber
card,
Eats card
yes,
or whatever.
yes.
You know, that's helpful.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I think like extending an invite, even if they have not had the baby yet, maybe even after they have the baby, just seeing like where they are. Maybe they do want to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to venture out. Maybe they, before having baby, like haven't seen friends in 5 months because friends haven't thought they wanted to go hang out. I don't know.
That's the one thing. It's like, let them make the decision. On
it's
if
lonely,
I feel like. Yeah, you can feel so lonely, especially if those around you are not in that same season.
Yes.
If they are really, if they don't have kids, it's even harder. And then if they do, but they're older, or you know, like those, I think get it a little bit more with the check-ins, but it's still that time period of, well, she's pregnant, she doesn't want to do anything,
right?
Or when I was pregnant, I didn't want to do anything, so she probably,
Very
you know,
true. Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Send
the invite.
Yeah.
Send the invite. Yeah.
Send it.
Yeah.
And let them make the decision. And if they aren't feeling it that one day, don't hold it against them and say,
not invite.
I knew
yep.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
No, send it again because every day is different.
Every day is very different. Absolutely.
And especially once the baby's here, we need a breather. Like, you know, or encourage them. Hey, like, I know this and that, but just come out just for a little bit. You know, encourage them because sometimes they might be in the slumps or they can't pull themselves out by themselves.
And I think it's so easy to like lose that side of you when you do become, you know, our like first time mom. It's so easy to be like, I just want to be home with my baby. I want to be home like sniffing this baby and doing all the things, like smelling this baby's feet.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to be like, okay, I can take an hour.
Yeah. First outing was to the nail shop. I had to take off my nails. They were crazy. Took them off and then just got a pedicure. I went to Starbucks before. And then I
treated yourself.
Yes. And then I was like, I'm going to go to Walgreens. And I just, because it was right next to the nail salon. And it felt so nice just to be at the house. And it was literally, I think, 2 weeks. Like, I was like 2 weeks postpartum.
Yeah.
But it was fine. Like, I loved being around the baby. I loved being at home. I didn't feel like I need to get out.
Yeah.
But when I was out, it was so nice.
Yeah.
And so send the invite, encourage your friends or whoever's going through that to come out because that encouragement may be needed sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's for the tribe. Now for the mama, first time mom. I guess while you were pregnant, I think certain conversations are super important to have with your partner.
Yeah.
A few things just off the top of my head is the household chores. How are we going to tackle it?
How are we going to make sure that XYZ is taken care of?
Yeah. For the first kid, I think it's more than fair to say you're going to do everything for the first.
Yeah.
I think honestly the first month, that's
such a blur. Like that first month is such a blur. You're so sleep deprived. Let me stop by saying and say this. Like, don't let the negativity of what comes next, because it's not negative. I don't want it to come across as negative, but it is just kind of you don't know what you're going to go through. You don't know what's going to come. But I feel like you just take it day by day.
Yeah, okay. But I will say, well, I guess I don't have all the say, but because Antonia was a good sleeper for the most part. But I feel like nothing compares to pregnancy tired.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's so true.
You're more sleep deprived just because of the kids having to go to school and with Bella, you know,
Yeah.
waking up, like that's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, pregnancy tired was real.
I agree. You know how like people are like, "Well, sleep now before you won't be able
That's
to
a whole
sleep
nother
then."
episode, but just wait.
Yes.
Don't say it.
Yeah, no, I didn't believe it one bit because yeah, pregnancy tired was real different than this tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair to say. So there is light, you
Yeah.
know, if you're going through that. But yeah, don't let this discourage you, and don't think that like you can't handle it, because you get superpowers when you become a mom.
You really do.
You do. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, have that discussion with your partner. Look, especially if you're gonna be breastfeeding, no matter what, like you carried this baby for 9 months inside of you, and I think the one thing that you are okay with doing are all things baby.
Yeah.
Like, it's diaper changes, bottles, or breastfeeding, whatever you're doing. I think taking care of that baby is just like, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's all the extra stuff that, like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think just having that first would be super nice. That help. But then as, you know, time goes on, further things as far as, well, if I'm doing feedings, you can do wash the bottles.
Yeah.
And this is a big one. If you're planning to breastfeed, not everybody can, but if you're planning to, or if you're also going to be pumping, which I heard people say this, but I didn't take this advice, but I do regret it now. Teach them how to wash the pump parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a husband, as a partner, you should want to.
Yeah.
Like, because we're attached to that machine, and if it's not the machine, it's the baby that's attached to us most of the day.
Yeah.
Every 2 hours at the beginning, sometimes more.
Yeah.
And the last thing that we want to do is just go and wash those parts.
Yeah.
Even if it's quick.
And it has to be done.
Yeah, it has to be done.
Yeah.
And if you can get some extra parts, I didn't have all the extra. I have like certain extra pieces, but not as many. But I would recommend that.
Yeah.
But I think that's just so helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that piece of it, but also too, I think going into like having a plan of how things should go day of and how they end up going, don't stress yourself out in thinking like it can only go one way, or it's going to be not, like, there's just no way that you can ever be ready enough.
Yeah.
Because the after, I think you can try to be as ready as you need to be. Like, for example, like, you know, the C-section versus natural delivery. I didn't know what to make sure to do. I didn't know how I was going to be after, like the recovery, all of those things. So all of that, it's just, you don't really prepare for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't go in there thinking like it's going to go one way and it's going to work out.
Oh my God. Be cautious of following into the birth plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that was all over my social. There's those sides of it. Like, whatever you choose to do, just make sure you're choosing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't think that you're not doing enough research, or you're not doing enough because you didn't do all that. Like,
birth.
Yeah. But just, you're doing enough.
Yeah.
I think is what we're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then I guess once baby's here, I will say, just eat. Like, eat first. I swear, there was like the first 2 weeks. I don't know I didn't even do this when I didn't have a child, when I wasn't pregnant. I was doing laundry. I was doing like
the first 2 weeks.
Yes, I was like, I felt like amazing.
What?
I don't know why.
You know what it is? Okay, so John had a really good explanation for this. He was like, I feel like this is like 2.0, how you are. Like the cave women, like, imagine, cave women did this without any type of medicine type of things. So it's like all of your instincts are like surfacing, and it's like full throttle. You are just go mode. Yeah. Like, not stopping. I feel like everything was going 90 to 1,000.
No, for sure. Yeah, I was like folding all his stuff and washing everything, like, for no reason. I had extra things, but I was just like, I can do it, washing dishes. And then I would find myself like, oh shit, I haven't eaten.
Yeah.
If there's dishes to be washed, if there's laundry to be done, eat first.
Yeah.
It's still so easy to do all the things before nourishing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just so important. I did that so many times and I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I was like, no, I need to eat and then I can do X, Y, Z. If I even get to it.
Right.
Survivor skills or what you need to survive
Yeah.
just kind of gets put on the back burner because now you have another human to take care of. So, you know, just make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And whatever decisions you and your partner make for your baby is what's best. You know? But I think those are just some pieces of advice, I think, for a first time mom. Really quick, just don't fall in the pit of comparing yourself to what you see. You only see the picture or a clip.
Little snippet of a 24-hour day. You're seeing a glimpse into it.
And everybody puts their best foot forward on social media. They're not gonna put the argument that they just had or the shit show of the chaos, mounds of laundry. You know, you're not gonna see all that. Yeah. Don't compare yourself. I think already, but as just a normal human, don't compare yourself because everybody's different. But then especially with
the lens of being a mom, it just takes a whole nother another element to the comparison game. And when you're in the thick of it, of just having a baby, and depending on if it's baby 1, baby 3, baby 7, all of those seasons, all of those times feel so hard in the moment that I think taking a step back now, you realize okay, we got through it, but in that moment it was really freaking hard. Yeah. And don't be hard on yourself with the hard days, and just at the end of the day, just zero comparisons because you're doing a phenomenal job. You are you are you are you know, just you're killing it. And so I guess we'll just end this with saying, you know, however you're choosing to spend your Mother's Day with your immediate family, you know, your babies or your loved ones, your mom, their mom, and sending extra love to those whose mamas are having a heavenly Mother's Day. Y'all deserve to be celebrated. And so just take some time to really make it known that you're celebrating yourself. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Feliz Dia de las Madres. Yes. And we probably talked a lot in this episode. I think we're really passionate about being moms, and I think we want to make sure we try seeing it from all angles, and also maybe when we were in the moments of, you know, pure bliss or pure roughness, that you know you're not alone. Yeah. In all of it. And I did see this one quote, someone wrote on a Facebook thing, on a comment, was, just remember the days are long, but the years are short. Yeah. Because it's true, time flies. Because, you know, I'm about to have a 1-year-old, you know, that's insane. So no matter how hard the day is going to come to an end, and then it's going to be a few months ago, then it's going to turn to a few years ago. You know, so just we've got this. Yeah. So I like that quote a lot. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. That was a good one. Yep. Until next time. Comment down below your advice. What did we miss? Yeah. Tons of stuff. I'm sure we did. But we have more to come. We have a lot more mom-tent, and then we also have non-mom-tent because we're not losing ourselves in motherhood. we're still pretty fun. Yeah, all facets. So comment below. Yeah. Anything we missed, any advice you have. And we'll see you next time. For sure. Adios. Goodbye.